and salutations, everybody, and welcome to the CanUK Podcast, the podcast done by fans for fans of everything nerdy. I'm your host, Lord X, and I welcome you to the show this evening. Now, later on in the show, we got some very big news about the CanUK Podcast, so if you don't want to hear us rambling about the news and all that other jazz, I'll leave an annotation you can click and jump ahead to that news at the very end. Now, with that being said, joining me on the program this week, first off, is the House of Rage himself, ECW James.
Pew, pew, pew! Sorry, I wanted air horns.
Welcome back to the show. It's been a few weeks, man.
Yeah, I've been busy, new job, and, trying not to get kicked out of my apartment.
Mm-hmm. And also joining us this week, he's made it to the big time now because he's got a video on the PlayStation website. It's Israel Pacheco.
Damn right. Yeah.
And how are you this week, man?
Doing pretty good, man. Not bad, not bad. Not too shabby.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. So, we've got quite the show here this week. No random segment to start it off because there really hasn't been any, big trailers or anything. That we'll talk about a couple of... Well, we'll talk about a trailer, I guess, in the news.
Mm.
But, yeah, let's dive straight into the news, talk about that. We got a topic of the week this week, and, of course, our been playing, been watching, and been reading section. So right, James, you haven't been on for a while, so why don't you kick us off with the first news story?
Oh, I really wish you would tell me this before we start.
You know it happens every time.
Get the link.
Yeah, I gotta get the link, open it up, make sure my ad blocker is working because, we don't need... Okay, get started.
Damon Hatfield popping up. Hey, with
IGN start. There. All right, so... Former Castlevania producer announces Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Today, former Castlevania series producer Koji Igarashi announced Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, a new game seeking funding on Kickstarter. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a 2.5D action-adventure game directed and produced by Iga. He will also handle the role of scenario writer on the project. Castlevania series composer Michiru Yamane will also join him along with developer Inti Crates.
Yeah, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. The same studio behind Kiji's Fume's Mighty Number 9. Azure Striker, Grunt, and Mega Man 9 and 10. So, Iga met with IGN to discuss the new venture almost a year of silence. We wonder why it took so long to launch on Kickstarter. I first wanted to see if there was a way to do this through a traditional business model. Told IGA told IGA to IGN in a translated interview. After he went independent, IGA hired Ben Jude, executive director of business development for DDM, as his agent, and spent 9 months meeting with publishers to pitch Bloodstained. And for a variety of different reasons, all of them decided to pass on the funding of the game. That says something about our gaming market these days.
Mm-hmm.
All these games that people are really excited about have to go through Kickstarter because the quote-unquote big business model can't see the potential in the game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it pisses me off, to be honest. It was a truly reasonable budget. It was from a man who had a great track record, both critically and financially, making a game, Judd said. I was shocked and never thought they would be as... God, I can't read today. I never thought that there would be as little interest. Surprisingly, as rejections from publishers piled up, IGA said he never considered giving up on Bloodstain. It's one of the key reasons I left Konami. What a shock. The fans wanted it. The company wasn't going in that direction, he said. So this was one of his only ways to come out and get a chance to do it and make it good on what the fans wanted. I mean, do I really need to go on?
No.
This is a classic story that we've been seeing for, the past 3 years?
Yeah, ever since Kickstarter really came on the map.
Yeah, well, and people were actually seeing that, hey, we can get our games out there this way and not, screw the customers over. And then the fact that it's Konami, that was like, no, we got Metal Gear. We don't need anything else.
But even that, they've kicked out the Metal Gear guy.
I know. Like, what the fuck, Konami? But yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on with them.
Nobody does. They don't even know anymore. But, so you can find Bloodstained Ritual of the Night on Kickstarter. And believe it or not, it's already met its $500,000 goal.
Actually, I'm looking at the total right now, and it's in under 24 hours, it has hit $1,589,983 with 20,583 backers.
Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, they have demolished every single one of their stretch goals so far except for 2. So just under their stretch goals. At 600,000, they upgraded the art book to a hardcover. 700,000, they added a second playable character. 800,000, they added a nightmare difficulty mode.
Oh God.
At 850,000, they hired voice actor David Hayter. At 1 million, they've added cheat codes. At 1.25, at 1,250,000, they've added local co-op.
Nice.
At 1.5 million, they've added a new boss. And their next 2 stretch goals at 1.7 million is a speedrun mode, and at 2 million, a boss rush mode.
Ooh.
So,
yep. Some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that should tell you right there that people want these type of games. I don't see a lot of these big companies sticking around much longer.
No. Not if you're doing this shit.
Especially with all the mess going on over there at Konami.
Yeah, I think they're honestly going to scale back after Phantom Pain hits, to be honest. Especially, it's not said like in this, description that IGN gave, but I watched the interview that he did with Colin Moriarty on Kind of Funny Games, and basically Colin asked him towards the end, like, what happened with Konami, what's the current, what are your thoughts on the current situation? And what Ego was saying was that from a financial standpoint, Konami has all these other businesses in Japan, like sports clubs and casinos and arcade like machines and things like that. So if they're losing money when it comes to game development, like it just makes sense for them to back out, and they rather make, mobile games. So it looks like Konami's going to be moving towards, like digital mobile games, at least from what he was saying, because basically what he said was that Konami was trying to have him make a mobile Castlevania game, and that's not what he wanted. So he decided to leave the company. And he spoke very highly of Konami. Like, he wasn't the type of person that, left the company and bashed them or anything. He's been quiet for over a year now that since he's left Konami. So, and, he's grateful for that company being the company that gave him his start, that gave him his name. But he's just sad that they're in the state that they are, pretty much. He's a very humble guy too, from what I saw in the interview that they did.
Yeah, I was watching the Kind of Funny's live stream yesterday, and he was very humble.
He's a very humble guy. I think I actually might support this game too. Like, I haven't supported it yet because I'm not really a Castlevania fan. I've always tried to get into the series, but it just never really clicked with me. I did support the other Kickstarter, which was a ukulele. I think I just might get, the digital version, which will be like, to get it on PS4 or Xbox One or Steam, whichever I decide.
Yeah, I might do the $5 tier just to show support.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. Apparently that not to get off subject, but the whole thing about big companies wanting to just do mobile games is actually a common theme that has been popping up in Japan.
Yeah.
Because they are seeing, they're looking at the hard facts. There's how many cell phones in Japan?
Millions.
How many cell phones in the world in general?
Close to billions.
Yeah, so to them, it's like, okay, if we make a game that you can play on your phone, charge, $2-3 for the game, we'll make...
And have a small budget on the game. They'll make that return if it hits,
Yeah, that's the thing. If it hits.
Yeah.
I mean, just because there's, X amount of one thing doesn't mean your product's automatically going to do well.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hell, just look at the mobile game market right now. It's all Bejeweled and Candy Crush clones.
Yeah.
And Flappy Bird.
Yeah, a bunch of clones for that, too.
To me, it's not a smart business practice to cut everything and then go into one direction.
Yeah.
But then again, like you were saying, Konami has, the sports clubs, the casinos.
The new Metal Gear Solid clothing line.
Damn it, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they're as many people have said, mostly in a transition away from gaming by the looks of it.
Or maybe towards, like, PC and mobile, like Sega's doing pretty much. They're just focusing on PC and mobile. Which is sad, which it isn't one of the stories that you got here, but now that we're talking about, these, I guess these really wouldn't be like AAA companies, but they would be like somewhere in the middle between indies and like an Activision, for example. But Sega sold like over 2 million copies of Alien Isolation, which I think is a great number, and they were like, no, we're disappointed. Like, this is an Alien game, which is already, a niche genre in the horror genre, and it's like a niche market. It isn't like it's Star Wars. It's Alien.
Yeah.
And they sold over 2 million copies of the game. And the game was actually panned by a lot of critics. Like, there were some people who loved it, and there were some people who really did not like it at all.
But it was better than Colonial Marines.
And damn right it was.
Hell, the last Duke Nukem game was better than Colonial Marines.
It was. Sadly, it was. But yeah, it's frustrating the direction these companies are moving. But, of course, it's always about the bottom line. They got to stay in business somehow. Yeah. And if they don't see a market, it's going to be sad. I've been debating, honestly, whether I was going to support the Phantom Pain, especially after all this stuff of stripping Kojima from the title and Kojima Productions shutting all that down, and which is BS in my opinion. But it seems like this is going to be the last Metal Gear for a while, at least, unless they outsource it to another developer like they've done with Silent Hill, and we see where that's gone.
It's apparently Konami has had a really bad track record when it comes to dealing with their talent. For example, the original Silent Hill game, they pretty much wanted that game to fail. Konami. So when they put Team Silent Hill together, they were like, all right, this is your last chance. If you screwed this up, you're all fired. And they gave them a task. It was like, make a horror survival game into, like Resident Evil, but without as many weapons. And they did it. Silent Hill is still one of the best survival horror games ever. Along with Silent Hill 2. After that, they broke the team up, Team Silent Hill, and it was like, okay, we're outsourcing it to America.
And down she went.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, from what I've heard behind the scenes, I know we got to get off and start moving forward, but this is like interesting stuff to talk about. I don't know if you guys heard, but Konami had this video pulled that was on YouTube. Basically, it was supposedly some insider information about what's really going on in Konami. Basically, that the head of Konami just hates Kojima and has like a grudge to get him. And there seems to be all this politic bullshit going on behind the scenes. And that's why Kojima Productions and Kojima's name got stripped from Metal Gear and all this stuff that's going on. So, and Jim Sterling did a video about it, about how they treat people within the company. So it's just frustrating what they're doing now. Yeah. It's really frustrating.
Which is really weird because, Japanese culture essentially is everything the opposite of that. The Japanese culture business model. You treat everyone with respect. I mean, hell, there's CEOs in Japan that go have lunch in the company lunchroom with all their employees.
And they take pay cuts like nobody else will.
I know. It's like, I'm already making millions of dollars. I have millions more in the bank. You know what? I'll take a pay cut so we don't have to fire 50,000 people. American companies can learn a lot from these guys, but America. Free market, bitches. What? Our company's about to go down? Well, I'm just going to give myself a 500% raise.
Before it all goes down.
Yeah, that's what happened with Hostess. And then a judge was like, no, you can't fucking do that. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Well, as good as those snack cakes may be, why don't we talk about another Japanese company? Israel, you've got our next news story.
Yeah, so Nintendo's considering the potential of removing region lock completely from their next system, which is codename NX at this point. We really don't know much about it beyond that. And they said pretty much that due to how the systems are currently, for example, the 3DS and the Wii U, there really wouldn't be an option for them to remove region locking since they're built around that premise. But they're taking into consideration that their next hardware might not have region lock, which I think is great news, especially since there's a lot of Japanese games, especially on Nintendo devices, that never hit our shores. So for them to just get rid of this, which at this moment Xbox One and PS4 do not have region locking, it would just make all the sense in the world, but Nintendo's Nintendo. But hopefully they make some changes moving forward.
Yeah, this is a sign of them maybe moving in the right direction for once.
Yeah. And this was coming directly from the president of Nintendo, which is Satoru Iwata. So this isn't like some rumor, but it's coming directly from investors meeting that they had.
Wow, something good actually from an investors meeting.
Yeah.
And Nintendo, so batten down your hatches, folks, because the apocalypse is coming this year.
I know. Well, what are we going to do when Nintendo runs wild on you? Nintendo Mania, brother. So amazing. All these games that you could never get in the U.S. before.
Yeah, that would just make all the sense in the world,
But again, that just goes back to, prehistoric business models.
Yep. Well, you gotta, not criticize Nintendo too much. They just discovered the internet in the past year, and they've been learning a few things. So.
You would think with all their money, every system they release just vomits money all over the place. You'd think would have figured this out sooner.
Yeah. They really need to get their shit together when it comes to the NX.
Yeah.
Especially with how the Wii U's doing. It still hasn't hit 10 million units worldwide, and it came out in 2012. So we're almost 3 years into the life cycle, and it's only like at 9.5 million. The Vita has sold more units than the Wii U.
Look how many games are out there for the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's hundreds of thousands of games for the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 200 games for the Wii U.
Yeah.
And that's being generous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need to get their act together.
I mean, I do appreciate the fact that they are practicing the quality control. I mean, the games that do come out for the Wii U are fucking great and fun.
Yeah.
But they need to start getting some third-party stuff out in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's that one ninja boob game that's on the Vita that everyone's going crazy over?
Sakura Kura?
Is that the one where the girls are like ninja fighting?
There's several.
Yeah.
But you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, as you battle, their clothes disappear and whatnot. That one?
Yeah.
They
They need
actually,
to like, put that over to like the bigger systems.
yeah. Well, they got one of those coming out for the 3DS soon.
You don't 3DS. What good is that to me?
Well, time to buy a Vita then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably just head up to the pawn shop and get one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
All right, guess we can move on to our next story here. And that's, another year, another another Assassin's Creed game got announced today. And that is Assassin's Creed Syndicate was officially announced. And where are we going this time? Well, governor, we're going to jolly old Victorian England. And I turned Scottish there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wow. Yeah, we're going to Victorian London this time. And the game is set in London in 1868, so we're moving closer and closer to modern day. The game will feature two playable protagonists, twins, Jacob and Eve Frey, confirming some of the rumors which circulated the other day. According to Ubisoft, Jacob is more hot-headed, brash, and rebellious figure, while his sister Eve is described as a relentless assassin and a master of stealth. During the open-world experience, players will be able to switch freely between the two characters, kind of similar in the same way as GTA 5. The story, meanwhile, sees the twins from Crawley heading to the city as the Industrial Revolution reaches its climax to free the masses from the poverty they suffer and lead an uprising against the oppressive establishment which conceals the Templars. Among your allies will be prominent Victorians, including novelist Charles Dickens and biologist Charles Darwin. So yeah, the game is single player only, with Ubisoft saying the decision was taken so development team in Quebec could focus on creating the biggest city-based open world that we've ever had for an Assassin's Creed game. Victorian London will approximately be 30% larger than Unity's map. London will consist of 6 boroughs: Westminster, the Strand, the City of London, Whitechapel, Southwark, and Lambeth. The Thames will also play a prominent role in the game, acting as the major entry and exit point for the beating heart of the Empire. So,
Another year, more of the same shit.
essentially.
And you kind of left out one borough that we just recently discovered that's going to be there.
Oh.
Yeah, Suplex City.
Brah.
Yes, according
With the true hero of the game.
But yeah, pretty much killed this series off. You could say they assassinated it, but
Yeah.
they really did. Once they started doing these like yearly iterations, it all went downhill. Like,
Yep.
I love the original Assassin's Creed. Sure, it wasn't a perfect game, but I saw like what they were trying to do, and it was one of those first games that I played that was like, wow, this is really next gen. in terms of the scopes of all the cities and all the NPCs that were on screen at once and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Assassin's Creed 2 came out, and that just built on the foundation of the first game, and it was a fantastic game, one of the best games from last generation. And then they did Brotherhood and Revelations, which I enjoyed, but they weren't needed, to be honest. They really could have did just Assassin's Creed 2 and those games all put together.
Yep. Brotherhood and Revelations just felt like DLC.
Yeah, they were just expansions on 2, and they just got greedy at that point and started doing them on a yearly basis. And then we got to Assassin's Creed 3, which I tried to play and I did not like at all. Then Assassin's Creed 4 came out, and that was fun, but I never completed it. And by then I was kind of burnt out on the series, so I just, even though Assassin's Creed 4 was real good from what I played, I just didn't care to finish it because I had played through 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, some of 3. By then I was just burnt out. I got Unity last year, and it was more of the same shit. Like, it was just back to, like, they felt like they were recreating Ezio all over again with a character that was in Unity. I don't even remember his name because he was just there. Like, he wasn't memorable at all. And I got probably like a third to halfway through that game, and I'm like, why am I playing this? This is the same exact thing. They haven't, developed it any further. It's just like they're just, it's whack. Like, they made so many mistakes with this series. Like, they could have did Assassin's Creed 1, 2, forget Brotherhood and Revelations, and then, like, do 3, or skip 3, or just go into 4. Like, I don't know. It was just, they got really greedy with this series. I don't know how well Assassin's Creed Unity sold, because usually they kind of trump their sales, but I don't really remember them seeing sales numbers like they usually would do every year. They're like, oh, Assassin's Creed sold 15 million units. They didn't do that with Unity, so I don't know.
Because they didn't want any attention on it. That's why.
Yeah. Especially when they've actually come in and said themselves, yeah, we kind of fucked up on Unity.
Yeah, and why trust them this time around? Just because it's a single-player game. The glitches that people were having were in the single-player of Unity. So, like, I'm not trusting them. I'm pretty much done with the series at this point, which went from very high on my list to being one of, like, very cool, brand new franchises, refreshing, to just stale, the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really help that their own timeline is constantly, is jumping around.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go from, Pirates in the Caribbean to suddenly it's the Industrial Revolution?
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, Pirates of the Caribbean to the French Revolution to the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
And this one's basically Gangs of New York set in London.
I thought it was the Order of 1812 or 1889 or whatever the fuck.
Or 1886. I thought the same thing when I saw, like, brief footage of this game, and I was like, it's more of the same. Kind of done with it.
Yeah. Same here. And if it comes out and, it gets good reviews, good word of mouth, maybe I'll look into it, but... Even
then, I'm kind of like, I think I've been getting really picky as of late with, like, what games I buy and what games I dedicate my time to. That if I see something and I'm just turned off by a game, it just gives me more reason to just not play the game and focus on something else. Because we got so much variety nowadays that these companies got to work harder, because I could quickly just dismiss the game and go on to the next one.
Well, I think unlike yourself, I never bought Black Flag, and I never bought Unity. I played a little bit of Black Flag, just borrowed it from a friend, but it's been a while since I've really gotten into an Assassin's Creed game, so if it does get good reviews, I am, like, a little more interested in diving back into it, but only if the story makes sense and they've actually made the gameplay good again.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, they do need to take a break, let the And they've done those, like, they're doing the downloadable games, too, right now. The Chronicles series.
They're doing a bunch of games a year. They're doing mobile games. They're doing downloadable games. They're doing console games. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced something for Xbox 360 and PS3 like they did with Rogue last year. They do some other game.
Hmm. Oh, well. We shall see, I guess.
That we shall.
Alright, well, let's move into the movie-related news, which, surprise, surprise, is all Marvel again this week, because DC really didn't have anything, minus a picture.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest Marvel news right now is, after 15 years, Hugh Jackman confirms that Wolverine 3 is going to be his final installment as the famous hero.
Dun, dun, dun.
And honestly, I'm not surprised. I mean, for fuck's sakes, it's been 15 years.
And
Yeah.
what, 8 movies by this point?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
they got the 5 X-Men, and this will be the third Wolverine one. So
Yeah.
eight movies.
But even
Plus
if we count
Apocalypse, which would be 9.
9, and then, yeah. I mean, even if we don't count that, Origins.
Yeah,
What movie?
Yeah, exactly.
or 3. X-Men 3.
Right in the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Well,
Honestly, it's sad to see him go, but then again, he's been doing this for 15 years.
mm-hmm.
Hugh Jackman himself is kind of getting up there
Yeah.
in age, and staying in that level of physical fitness is not easy.
No.
No, it isn't.
No.
Like, I remember reading an article somewhere where his average meal weighs anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
It's just, it's all proteins and, like pork and chicken, no red meat,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits. And it's just because his body is burning through it so much.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but there's with him, there's been good parts. Like, in the first X-Men movie, he really blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was the tallest person in the cast.
And Wolverine's not tall.
No, he's not. He's like, what, 5'6"?
Yeah, he's a short little Canadian.
Like that. He's short. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a short, angry Canadian. But, he did good, and then he did bad.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bad. Then he had the greatest cameo ever.
Yep.
Fucking... I'm sorry, every time I think about that, Xavier and Magneto walk up to him, he just turns around, fuck off. Oh, there's our R rating.
Their one use of an F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. And then they did it so well with the sequel.
I still haven't seen the Days of Future Past yet.
Oh,
I'm I'm sorry. Jeez. Since I don't have a lot of money. Like, I still haven't seen Avengers yet.
It should be on Netflix.
Age of Ultron. I've seen the first one. It's just I really want to go see the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been staying away from reviews, everything. I don't know shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for apparently Ultron spent 2 minutes on the internet before he decided to kill the world.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Well,
But, yeah.
everybody has distractions on the internet, so...
But, it's going to be sad to see him go.
Mm-hmm.
But, damn it, he's earned a break.
Yep. Yeah. Let him retire from X-Men for 15 years. Bring him back then for old man Logan.
Shit, that'd be awesome.
I'd like to see who they pick next as Wolverine.
Ooh.
That would
Actually,
be interesting.
Well, there's one person that, me and my friends agree on, and he's actually a pro wrestler. here in California. His name is Brian Cage.
I think I've heard of him. Let me look him up.
Yeah, he's been on Lucha Underground. He's actually his career's really taken off.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find a picture of him.
Here we go. Yeah, he does look like Wolverine.
Yeah. Like, despite his build, he's actually surprisingly very agile, too. And he's not that tall.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just give him claws and, the costume and boom. Hell, I remember one Halloween he actually spiked his hair up like Wolverine's.
That's great.
So, yeah, that's... goodbye, Hugh Jackman. Thank you for old fun.
Indeed. Cannot wait to see the Wolverine 3. Just don't fuck it up.
Wonder what storyline they're going to try to do.
Watch it be old man Logan.
That would be so hard to do since they can't use any Marvel character.
When has that stopped them?
True. They'll just use a bunch of X-Men characters, I guess.
And misuse them. Like, oh, this big guy that punched the tank? Yeah, that's Blob. Wait, what? How'd he get fat? Well, he just stopped working out. What? That's not how... No.
Let's move on to some really good Marvel news.
Yes.
Yeah, so ABC has decided to renew both Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, which seem to have been pretty good hits for ABC. I believe S.H.I.E.L.D. will be going into its third season. Agent Carter will be going into its second season.
Yep, season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, I haven't had a chance to see these shows, but
You
what
have to watch Agent Carter.
What I've heard from you guys is that they're pretty damn good shows.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good as Daredevil, but I just had to throw that in there.
Nothing will be ever as good as Daredevil. But yeah, this is awesome. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has gotten a lot better as it's gone on, and Agent Carter was like the perfect period piece / having like a female star in a Marvel themed show, and it was like a great sequel to the first Captain America movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really cool, and I think they've put out a synopsis for what's going on in both. I can't remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's something with Coulson dealing with a new threat. It's going to be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Agent Carter sees her going to Los Angeles, actually, to deal with a threat there.
Mm.
Oh, snap. Which I just realized, that time period.
Mm-hmm.
There was a night in Los Angeles where there was a UFO sighted.
Oh,
And it's made international news, and U.S. soldiers fired upon said UFO. It was known as the Battle of Los Angeles.
Okay.
And it takes place roughly around the same time period, so that could be introducing some alien visitors.
Maybe some more Kree action.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
The blue people from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you see a blue body in a morgue.
Mm-hmm. Well, you haven't caught up, have you?
No, I haven't.
No, well, little spoiler, there was a Kree that appeared in the show. A live Kree.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, they're very much known on the TV world, so it wouldn't be surprising to see them brought in here again.
Not surprised. They got to start bringing that continuity together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit's about to kick off.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Speaking of shit about to kick off, I think that leads right into your story.
Oh, yes. Marvel has begun production on Captain America Civil War, and in doing so, they've released the cast list, which, give me about an hour here to read off these names.
Oh, Lord.
So, set for release in the United States on May 6, 2016, Captain America Civil War will introduce, or will actually bring back, let's see, the film returns Chris Evans as the iconic superhero Steve Rogers, Captain America, along with Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark / Iron Man, Scarlett Johansson back as Natasha Romanoff / Black Widow, Sebastian Stan back as Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, Anthony Mackie as Falcon, Paul Bentley as the Vision, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Don Cheadle as Jim Rhodes / War Machine, and Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. And after his debut in Marvel's Ant-Man on July 17, 2015, Paul Rudd will make his first appearance alongside the Avengers as Scott Lang, Ant-Man, in Captain America Civil War. The film also includes outstanding additional cast: Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, Emily Van Clamp as Sharon Carter / Agent 13, returning from the Winter Soldier. I'm going to butcher this name, but Daniel Brule from Inglourious Basterds. He will be playing Baron Zemo. Frank Grillo will return as Brock Rumlow / Crossbones. If you don't know who that is, he was the guy who was very disfigured at the end of the Winter Soldier. William Hurt will return as General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross from The Incredible Hulk, so they have not forgotten that movie. And Martin Freeman from The Hobbit, you know him as Bilbo Baggins, and on Sherlock has Dr. Watson. Jesus, I couldn't remember his name there. Will be in the movie as well in an undisclosed role. So, yeah, the movie has one hell of a cast coming in.
It's a lot of people, shit.
Yep, and there's also the potential of Spider-Man being in this movie as well. They just haven't casted an actor yet, so that's most likely why he's not in this cast reveal yet.
Yeah. Plus, there's one other person that's rumored to be in there, and that's the actor who plays Daredevil.
Oh, yeah, Charlie Cox.
Really?
He wants to be into it, but you don't know yet.
Yet. It would make sense for him to be at least in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody might need a lawyer at some point during that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have the first plot synopsis for the movie.
Oh.
And it reads as this. Captain America Civil War picks up where Avengers Age of Ultron left off, as Steve Rogers leads the new team of Avengers in their continued efforts to safeguard humanity. After another international incident involving the Avengers results in collateral damage, political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability and a governing body to determine when to enlist the services of the team. The new status quo fractures the Avengers while they try to protect the world from a new and nefarious villain, most likely Baron Zemo. So, god damn, this movie's going to be big.
What's funny is that after I finished Avengers, I was like,
Careful with the spoilers.
no, not spoiler stuff. But what's the next one called? The next Avengers movie?
Infinity War.
Okay, yeah. So I was confused. I was like, when the hell are they doing Civil War then? I didn't realize it was the next Captain America movie until I was looking it up online, and I was like, oh, Captain America Civil War, there it is. Because I was like, they were going to skip all the way to Infinity War before doing this, so I was kind of confused, but now I'm on track.
Yeah, poor Cap. In my opinion, he's had like the best solo movies of the bunch, and well, just kind of taking the spotlight away from him a little bit. But it makes sense, though.
Kind of yes, kind of no. You know, it's going to be focusing on him and Robert Downey Jr. because
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're the leaders of the two factions, basically.
Yep.
And I just love all the memes going around online.
Oh.
It's pronounced GIF. Civil War.
So you saw my little link the other day, eh?
Oh, yeah. But no, I can't wait. And you know they're going to be adding more and more characters as, you know, they go further into production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll probably see a lot of cameos in this movie at least.
Oh, I hope so. Like maybe even as a Mr. Cumberbatch at some point.
Yep. And you know that it's pretty great now we have both Dr. Watson and Sherlock in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, now what if they bring him in as Wong?
Oh, that would be great. But I think he's being rumored to be the assistant of Black Panther, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That made you perfect. Your dad. I think that's the best one.
I'll leave that link down in the description below when the video goes up.
Yeah, this is glorious.
Yeah, going back to the cast list there too, it's great to see William Hurt coming back as General Ross. It's awesome to see that character returning again.
Damn, this is going to be a quick turnaround. It's coming out next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Marvel movies for you, man. They film like a year before. Unlike DC, which takes like 2 years to make.
DC takes like fucking 10 years. They're like, oh, let's do this. It takes forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing General Ross return is awesome.
Yeah, which reminds me, one major problem, the reason why I know a lot of people have been clamoring for another Hulk movie.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Universal still owns some of the rights to a Hulk movie.
Yep, they own the solo Hulk movie rights, apparently.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. Because at any point they can be like, we're going to make a Hulk movie.
Maybe. I think they need, like, permission from Marvel, though.
I don't understand. All this copyright bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like, there was another meme I saw. It was Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and they were standing there it was a clip from Age of Ultron, and it was like, Father, we need your help. We're being attacked by millions of metal robots. And then it's over to the actor that's currently playing Magneto. He's like, I can't because of copyright.
Yeah, they couldn't say mutants, right?
Yeah. They were enhanced.
They're Inhumans.
Yeah, but while I was watching it, I was like, don't you guys mean mutants?
Let me say this. I know you haven't seen the movie yet, James, but do you want me to tell you, like, exactly what they are? Like, if they're human or not, that sort of deal?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
They're actually enhanced. They were experimented on by Baron von Strucker. So they're not Inhumans. They're actually people that were given powers via Loki's staff.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, that's kind of cool, actually. Or is it? What I've been catching of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they've actually introduced the that mist that the Inhumans use to give people superpowers.
Yep, the Tarragon Mist.
Yes. I couldn't remember the name. But they've introduced that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I remember reading about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great way to introduce how all these other people are getting superpowers now.
Yeah. And it's amazing, too, that they've actually done this so soon, since we're not getting the Inhumans movie until 2019.
Well, that's only 4 years away.
Yeah. Still, it's 4 years away.
I'm sitting here saying in the future of 2019, that's only 4 years away now.
But it's also, like, pretty smart, too, like you're suggesting, because it's getting people introduced to them.
Yeah. And it's getting the names out there, so it's like, oh, wait, who's this guy? Well, he was in this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or he was in this episode of Agent Carter. Or he was in this episode of Daredevil, you know.
Yeah. Let's see, going back to the cast list of Civil War again, I'm surprised we don't have Phil Coulson up here, though I think Whedon said, at least in terms of the Avengers, Coulson is dead to the cinematic, or the movie part of the cinematic universe.
He might cameo in this, honestly. Because this is a little too big.
Mm-hmm. Like, in order to really get the full effect of Age of Ultron, you really need to watch the last 2 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, not the last episode, but the one before. You watch that one, then watch Age of Ultron, then watch the next episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Perfect bookends for the movie. Like, absolutely perfect.
Oh, they've been doing that a lot. I mean, they did the same thing last year with Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm. And Ragnarok. Not Ragnarok, sorry, The Dark World.
Yeah, which I still haven't watched. There's a digital copy sitting on my desktop. And it's like, I'm going to watch this. Ooh, a kitty. Oh, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch this. Ooh, video.
But yeah, Coulson might appear, and we got Paul Rudd with the other Avengers. That's awesome.
It's about time.
Yeah. So Ant-Man's not going to be a throwaway movie.
I'm tired of people online. Oh, it's going to be a sucky movie.
Just wait. It's going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody last year said, oh, that movie doesn't look good. Comes out, everybody's just throwing money at it.
And fucking babies in the air. Yay! Yeah, just going nuts over it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I got a question. When are the Guardians going to be introduced within like other Marvel films? Is there like an event that occurs at the?
Oh yeah,
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
It'll be then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the only logical branching point for them. They'll probably be the ones going to Earth to warn them about Thanos, probably.
Oh, okay.
Or they might be leading the alien heroes to Earth to help the fight against Thanos.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've actually read any of the space saga that Marvel does. Mm-hmm. You know, they pretty much have their own team of X-Men or Avengers in space, which consists of Gladiator and a bunch of other people.
Yeah. Yes, they might bring like a space fleet or something to fight Thanos' army.
Which would be awesome.
My bet right now is that Infinity War Part 1, we're going to see Hulk in space at some point. And probably we'll get aspects of Planet Hulk within Infinity War Part 1. Near the end of that movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, they're probably going to be the ones ending up saving Hulk. And then Hulk, the Guardians, and probably Hulk's Warbound will actually lead an offensive against Thanos into Part 2 of Infinity War.
I can see that at the very end of the first episode of Infinity War. You just see the Guardians of the Galaxy ship come flying up. Star-Lord pops up. Hey, you guys lose this? Points to Hulk. Oh, God, I'm picturing a conversation between Drax and Hulk.
Oh, my God.
It'd be the most intense, politest conversation ever.
Honestly, I just can't wait to see Rocket Raccoon and Robert Downey Jr. on screen at the same time.
Oh my God. Star-Lord's going to hit on Black Widow, you know it.
Of course.
Don't
forget we're going to get Captain Marvel at that point as well.
Oh, dear God, that's right. Marvel knows what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And DC's trying so hard.
While DC cries in a corner.
Right,
that's the other thing. Like,
huge pillow.
Just going back to Civil War again, before we knew all this was happening, DC was like, yeah, we got Batman versus Superman, those two heroes in the same movie in 2016. And then Marvel's like, well, a couple months later, we got 18 heroes in the exact same movie. Oh yeah, by the way, Iron Man's going to fight Captain America in this one.
Which is, oh god, that reminds me of all the people pointing out the similarities between Batman v Superman and Iron Man versus Captain America. And it's like the main glaring difference is like, well, we've actually had time to develop this plot.
Yeah. Yeah. And Marvel actually came out today too in another story. What's his name? Not John Favreau. Kevin Feige. He was actually interviewed and asked like, "So will Marvel ever take a dark turn?" He's like, "No. The humor that we have is staying. That is our DNA structure, and it works."
It does. And I'm so glad that they're not going with they are going with the dark and gritty stuff, but it's still got the humor there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Daredevil had a ton of humor into it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of... Oh, God. We'll get to that in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I know you haven't seen Age of Ultron yet, but same thing. Like, they did their trailers kind of like ominous and dark and moody. But oh my god, there was humor right through that movie.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've heard is like a lot of people were a little turned off that Ultron was cracking as many jokes as he was apparently.
Oh my god, it was perfect. Like, Ultron was the perfect mixture between Loki's charismatic attitude and the Winter Soldier's like viciousness. He was the perfect mix of the two.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to have to knock over a liquor store so I can go see the movie now. Yeah. Really going to have to do that. Going to have to put the old lady down the stairs and steal her purse.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up.
You loved me. Civil War. Sorry.
Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for our news story, so it's time to move into our topic of the week, in which, surprise, surprise, we're going to talk more Marvel stuff.
Woohoo!
We've all watched Daredevil here. We all absolutely love it. We think it's like the best comic book TV show, I think, ever made. I think we can agree on that, right?
Yep.
So,
Agreed.
Our topic this week is, what other comic book characters do we think deserve their own Netflix series? Now, this can include Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, etc., etc.
Okay.
Alright, so who wants to begin here?
Well, I think we can all agree that Punisher needs his own series.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Especially after watching episode 3 of Daredevil.
Yeah. I mean, Punisher really needs his own series. Mm-hmm. And there was an interview recently with Tom Hardy, who wants to play Daredevil. I mean, not Daredevil, Punisher.
I'd be down with that.
And I'm like, yes, do it. Make this happen. Mm-hmm. But besides that, I mean, there's so many other guys that I would love to see get their own series, but problem is a lot of Marvel really doesn't have the rights to them. Like, I'd love to see a New Mutants TV series. That way they can actually expand upon the X-Men universe, cinematic universe some more. Yeah. I would love to see a West Coast Avengers.
Well, that one is kind of possible.
I mean, some of the lesser-known guys dealing with the not-so-world calamities, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of the same approach that they've been doing with their current Netflix series for the Defenders.
Yeah. But, instead of waiting how many years till Defenders is supposed to happen?
Yeah.
I know we got Jessica Jones coming out next year along with Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jessica Jones might be at the end of this year, possibly, or next year, and we're getting another season of Daredevil next year. That's already confirmed.
I can't wait.
So, even though we're waiting a while for the Defenders, it looks like we may have plenty of Marvel Netflix stuff.
Yeah. And I'm surprised they're not devoting an entire studio to this just because of, the success of Daredevil.
Yeah.
Trying to get this stuff out sooner now.
I'm sure after the success, they're putting more resources into it.
But let's see. DC side, I'd love to see a Nightwing TV series.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, I'm with that.
Because honestly, Nightwing deserves some love, not cameos.
Big time agree with that.
Tim Drake, he's earned it.
You'll have
Oh wait, Dick Grayson. Wrong Robin. I got my Robins mixed up. Dick Grayson, yeah. I fucked up. That happens at my age. Oh. But there was one series from Dark Horse, since you mentioned Dark Horse, that I would love to see, but it couldn't be a live action series. It'd have to be an animated series. One of my favorite comic book series ever was a American manga series called The Dirty Pair.
Okay.
Done by Adam Warren, who just, oh my god, the art is great. The stories are phenomenal. Basically, Adam Warren is pretty much on the same level as Josh Whedon when it comes to like character interaction and story writing. So for his is more like he can go that crazy sci-fi route and make you feel that it's normal. Where Josh Whedon does it and it still feels a little eh. But that's my opinion. So yeah, that's it for me. How about you, Izzy?
The most obvious one for me would be Batman, but they're going to keep him on the big screen as long as they can, to be honest, and the way they're handling Gotham, which I don't even want to get into. But, we were just talking about Wolverine. It'd be cool to see, like, TV series based around Wolverine. Maybe pick a certain arc of the Wolverine saga and just develop it into some sort of TV series. That'd be pretty cool.
That would.
Yeah.
But besides that, I can't think of anything else, really.
Okay. For myself, I think I've said this before, maybe not on the podcast, but for Phase 2 of Marvel's Netflix part of the MCU, I really want to see them bring in, the Punisher, as you mentioned, James. I want Punisher, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and Blade to be introduced. And
I forgot about these guys.
And then for Marvel to bring them all together as, say, bring in like the Marvel Knights kind of old brandishing logo, but have them be the Marvel Knights team. And I'm not sure if they have the rights to them or not. They probably do. Maybe bring in characters such as Black Knight into this as well.
Black Knight, he's one of the Avengers, so I think they still have all the copyrights for that.
Yeah. I'm just not sure. But I know they have Ghost Rider, Blade, and Moon Knight, so I think those would be really good, and we could probably see an even darker and grittier side of the MCU. And since we're getting, Doctor Strange next year, which I still forget about on a daily basis, that's next year, they can introduce the supernatural aspect of it, so it makes sense for them to bring in Ghost Rider. Just don't bring back Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
Think about the Ghost Rider movie when Nick Cage wasn't on screen for a change.
Well, they did have Idris Elba there. He was good in the second one, at least.
No, he wasn't. You can say that movie.
As far as DC goes, Yeah, I think Nightwing, as soon as I think DC, like, they're doing most of the stuff right now that I've wanted to see, like Arrow and Flash, and they're doing Teen Titans as well, so I can't really think of somebody I really... Oh, wait, I do have one for DC. The Question. I would love to see a live-action
yes.
adaptation of him. That would be amazing. But problem is he'd need a cameo from Batman for that, because the interaction between those two are just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're doing something with Invincible at some point, so... yeah, that's mostly the ones that I can think of, really. But Marvel's got it made.
Yeah, I know they tried like a Blade series at one point, wasn't it, on Spike TV?
It was Spike TV and back when New Line Cinema still had the rights to Blade.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Blade done by Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Marvel can go into the vampire genre then, so...
I think that would be cool to see that.
That's the thing. Blade just doesn't fight vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but...
Some vampires have been dead for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could really start off his series being good, you know. He's fighting other things, and maybe it leads up the season finale, brings in Dracula at the end. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, he's actually still alive.
Yeah, that would actually be really good. That really would be good.
Or maybe you could actually introduce Dracula into, like, say they do Punisher first as the first series. Right at the end, like, Dracula's introduced, Punisher's just shooting him. It's like, huh, this ain't working.
I need to call in some bigger guns.
Yep. And Ghost Rider, I mean, you could introduce the whole heaven and hell thing with him.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. See, if we were in charge, we would have already done this.
Yes.
But, you know, I understand that they're probably, if they do anything with those characters, it's probably going to be after, like you said, when Doctor Strange comes out.
Yep, because that's going to introduce everybody to the magic and supernatural aspects of the universe.
Even though that's not that far of a stretch. I mean, you already have Thor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have an Asgardian god. and it's like, oh yeah, our magic is basically just technology advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's a different form of technology, which when you think about it like that, yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I just thought of another one they could bring in probably on the supernatural side, and they could actually tie this in with Doctor Strange, but bring in the Hood. Have his series start off where, you know, you think he's going to be a good guy, he's trying to do the right thing, and slowly throughout the series he goes like Breaking Bad style, where he just crumbles into becoming like this evil guy who like just wants to rule. And all the while you have Dormammu like building within his mind.
Ooh, yeah, that would be pretty good.
Sorry if we lost you on that one, Izzy.
Yeah, I'm lost when it comes to all the Marvel stuff.
Because basically the Hood is just like a supernatural Punisher, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, he was a very minor villain for the most part in the comics, but they really built him up during the time of Dark Reign, where he just went mental on a lot of people. Like the character Tigress, she really suffered at his hand.
oh, jeez. That poor girl.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's another character that could possibly show up. Introduce her as the cat first, and maybe she eventually transforms by the end of the series.
That'd be cool.
There's just so much Marvel can do, and you know they're thinking these things.
Okay, now, besides Marvel and DC, can you think of any other companies that should have a good Netflix level of TV show?
Archie Comics.
And within comics?
God.
Hey, I'm just saying, they could do Afterlife with Archie, real life, that would be fucking amazing. Because that series gets dark.
Trying to think out within comics outside of Marvel and DC.
I know it's published under Marvel, but what about The Dark Tower, the Stephen King series?
Oh my god. I've been... For years, people have been like teasing with, oh, we're going to be doing a Dark Tower movie series. And it's just do it. Just fucking do it. Stop teasing me already. Just fucking do this. You know, it's one of those things. Just like, stop. Just do it.
I'm trying to think back at my comic shop, like, what other stuff is there?
What about a good Wildcats TV series? Instead of a failed animated series that had like 2 episodes. Or fuck, better yet, a Spawn TV series.
Oh my god, yes. That would be amazing.
I mean, especially now that we have, the quality, the actual good special effects, good CGI now. It'd be, God, a good Spawn series would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the movie, just make a TV series.
It worked for Daredevil.
I mean, I could just go on and on and on, but because there's so many good series out there that do need, they need the exposure.
Yep, definitely.
And there's, at the same time, there's also so many series out there that are just like, no.
Gotham! But yeah.
Joker's going to be focus of season 2!
They are bringing in Dr. Freeze, though. I'm kind of excited for that, to be honest.
Is Arnold going to be found?
Just the way Gotham has gone, they are going to have so many fucking cold puns, it's going to be amazing. I just know it.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing an older Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Mr. Freeze or Dr. Freeze. You know?
You could probably do it at this point if Maggie is any indication of his acting skills.
Ooh.
I haven't watched that yet, but
Yeah, me neither. It hasn't come out here yet, but just from what I've seen and heard,
trailer? Oh my god!
I think it's actually available on demand because I saw who was it?
Oh, it is.
From I saw on Twitter comic book artist Greg Capullo, who does a Batman. He posted something about should I rent Maggie or whatever, and I didn't know it was out for on demand, but I guess it is if he. Let me see. Let's look this up. Maggie Arnold on demand. Let's see. Huh. Maybe it isn't. I don't know how the hell he got it. Unless it's on, some sort of cable network. That might be the thing.
Yeah.
If it's on demand on, Comcast or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, video on demand this Friday, so. Seems to be on some cable service, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, there are plenty of characters, minor ones especially, that would work very well on the small screen.
Just awesome.
So much potential, and hopefully with Daredevil Season 2, we do get introduced to people like the Punisher, Elektra, and Bullseye.
Oh god, that reminds me. I watched a how many you guys watch SourceFed?
From time to time.
No, I haven't seen it myself.
It's a YouTube series. Philip DeFranco puts it out, and they I think it's Thursday or Friday, they do a comic book recap.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was sitting down to watch it, and they wouldn't stop complaining about Daredevil.
Really?
The TV series?
Yeah,
Why?
because of the costume and the lack of cameos.
Oh, come on. It's the first season.
That doesn't matter. Apparently, since obviously, I hate to say this, but it's so obvious that they are DC fans. All the guys on the panel,
Yeah.
not Marvel fans.
No, of course. You know,
So,
but the
it's
funny
like the
thing
costume looked stupid. There wasn't enough cameos. What's with the choreography? Oh, this writer didn't write this episode? It sucked.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's funny because I've seen some people who are like massive DC fans, like Greg Miller on Kind of Funny, and like he absolutely loved Daredevil and couldn't get enough of it. And something like Gotham that focuses on Batman, his one of his favorite DC characters, he hated it. Like he watched 2 episodes and couldn't deal with it. But
Yeah, because-
Daredevil, he marathoned it.
Yeah, I marathon Daredevil too. 13 hours. I sat in this chair. Got a blood clot in my ankle because of this shit. But it was like, it started off, okay, I'll watch this one episode. Oh, that was really good. Let's check out the next one. And then when I hit the halfway point, I was like, okay, I need to get some sleep. I need to get to sleep after this one. Fuck.
That
What
was
happened next?
that was the thing with Daredevil. Like every episode, you start off, okay, I'll just watch a little bit, and then they have that one little thing that hooks you right through the episode. And then at the end, they have that hook that was like, okay, I need to watch one more, just one more episode.
Just one more. Like, oh my god, it's so good. I haven't really had a chance to gush with anyone about it, but like, let's see. Another thing they complained about was the guy that did the Kingpin.
Mm-hmm. Vincent
They didn't like
D'Onofrio.
they didn't like the way he played it.
Oh, come on.
I fucking loved Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, because it
I
made him-
love how, like, he was, like, so psychotic, but at the same time, he was, like, relatable,
Yeah.
and you felt bad for him. And then the next second, you just fucking hated him. Like, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
like even when he spoilers. Spoiler warning in case for those who haven't watched the series yet. Even at the end of the series where he killed the journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He would, in my opinion, he was justified.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
That's
since,
with his mom.
yeah, especially when they made such a big deal earlier in the series where the journalist was talking to the mobsters, like, hey, you didn't bring my family into this. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment he broke that one rule, and it's like, you brought my mother into this. What? How? I can't forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow. Think about it like that. I can't forgive him either.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand why he said his mother was dead.
Yeah.
You know, and like Izzy said, I honestly felt there were times I was rooting for Fisk more than I was rooting for Daredevil.
Yep. Especially with his scenes with Vanessa.
Oh,
Because we've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
oh, and when his right hand man James died,
Mm-hmm.
oh god, I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, there was the reaction that you're supposed to have when a hero dies, or the sidekick. Yeah, technically he was the sidekick, but really, really. But no, it's just, you know, when he, like, I'm surprised they killed him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and just so nonchalantly too, just
Oh.
boom, boom, dead.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. Damn it, it was so good. I want more. I can't get enough. I need my fix.
Yeah, I've honestly been considering rewatching it already.
Yeah, same here.
Damn, I'm probably going to end up doing that.
It was so good. The whole time I was watching it, I was like, damn, why couldn't they have done Batman? Like, it just pissed me off so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, why couldn't this have been about Bruce Wayne? Oh my God. It was pissing me off.
Like a live action version of Year One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would. Where he doesn't have the bat suit yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another good thing. No Daredevil costume until the last episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even then they were like, yeah, it's not finished yet. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. I need it now.
And it made sense the way he got it, too.
Yeah.
He wasn't just, I want a suit. It's got to be red and devil horns and,
Yeah, everything pretty much made sense within the context of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't anything that you kind of shook your head at, Like, there's some series that you might watch and like, I don't really buy that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was pretty grounded for the most part.
Yep.
And there was one thing about the series that I didn't like, and that was the Stan Lee cameo.
Oh, yeah.
He was a picture on the wall in the precinct.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it was the episode where they kill the guy who name drops Fisk for the first time.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Where the two cops kill him in the questionnaire room. When Murdoch walks in and is talking to the guy at the desk, if you look at the wall right behind his left shoulder, you'll see a blurry picture. That's Stan Lee.
I didn't notice that. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently there's a ton of Easter eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the guy that makes the costume, I forget his name, but he's actually a character from the series.
Mm-hmm.
And in one shot, you'll see what looks like a pair of metal pant legs. And it's the bottom half of Stiltman.
Yep. And Stiltman was in the series, too.
Yeah, Stiltman.
He was the black guy. I can't mind his name now, but he was working with Fisk and them. You see him in, like, the final episode. He's being chased by the cops. That was actually Stiltman.
What?
Yeah, that was Stiltman.
Oh, that's... Honestly, I can see that now. He puts on the suit and starts being just... Oh, look at me, I'm Stiltman, motherfucker!
Yep.
You can't handle my reach. Oh, I felt so bad for that guy throughout the entire show.
It was the perfect origin for him.
Got tired of getting beat up by everybody. Man, I'm sick of this shit.
But yeah, Daredevil, perfect Netflix series, and hopefully we will get some really awesome ones coming from Marvel as well. Like, I cannot wait for Jessica Jones now.
Yeah. Especially now that they're starting to release pictures from the set.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
All right, so I guess we can leave our topic of the week now and dive into our been playing, been watching, and maybe we've actually been reading something section.
Well...
So, yeah, let's start with the been playing. Anybody want to go first?
Pause.
I guess I'll go first then.
Yeah, I really haven't been playing much. Sorry.
It's fine, it happens. Yeah, for me, I'll just go over my few here very quickly. I finished up Shovel Knight on the PlayStation 4. Finally experienced the ending to that game, and wow, that was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Omega Quintet on and off again. It's a JRPG/idle simulator from the people at Compile Heart, so if you've ever played something like Hyperdimension Neptunia, you know what to expect from that type of game. I've also started Ether 1 on the PlayStation 4, one of the free PlayStation Plus games of this month. Very interesting puzzle game where you're going into the minds of people with mental disorders to help cure them, which has been a very unique experience so far. And the puzzles are, they've been fairly difficult, I want to say, too, but it's been really interesting world to explore. And finally, I managed to get on to play the Splatoon demo, or aka the global test fire that Nintendo put out at random times for only 1 hour at a time.
Oh, that's nuts.
And I can see how the game can be fun and interesting, but there wasn't a pro controller option from what I could tell, so I had to use the tablet, though a friend told me that you could turn the motion controls off. But god damn, was that ever hard to control and really turned me off from the game. No matter how fun it was, the controls were a big turn off for me.
Yeah. So how long do you think before it degenerates to the next Call of Duty?
I don't know, a week or so, especially since there's no voice chat or anything like that.
Oh, there's no voice chat? You mean you're not going to hear that 12-year-old say how he's fucking your mom 12 times a day?
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good thing in a way, but it would be nice to be able to communicate with friends while playing it.
Yeah. I mean, for a first-person shooter, I mean, even though it's not... At its core, it is a first-person team shooter. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to have that communication.
Yep. Yep. Oh, I will admit, though, it was kind of fun and a different take on the third-person shooter genre, so... It's unique, but Nintendo might be going the wrong way in regards to the controls. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe there is a pro controller option, which might hook me in a little bit more, but other than that, yeah, it's off my radar for the time being.
Yeah, but like you said, it's just a demo right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it worked. I will give them credit there. Like, the servers worked. There was only one incident out of, like, 12 games I played where a connection issue happened. So other than that, it worked, like, perfect for online. There was no lag whatsoever. So I will give them credit there for a beta test, I guess, for testing the servers. It worked. And that's pretty much what I've been playing this week. Izzy?
Yeah, I've only been playing one game. I haven't played much of it, a little over 2 hours into it, and that's Pokemon Y on the 3DS/2DS. It's good. This is like the second time I tried playing through it. And I don't know, it's a good game. I could see why people enjoy it. I used to love the Pokemon games, well, the original ones, you know, Red, Blue, and Yellow, and then I kind of moved on from the series after that. And it reminds me of those games, but at the same time, it's like not as interesting and as fascinating as it was when I was, you know, younger. I guess I've kind of grown out of that experience.
Right on.
But it's not a bad game. I'll probably keep on playing it, you know, little by little.
Cool. Yeah, I have to say, that one actually hooked me in a lot. It actually was really refreshing. I think it was just because of the whole new 3D stuff and Mega Evolutions. It was really good, but playing Omega really kind of died on me a little bit.
Yeah, it does look good. But I don't know how much more I'm going to put into it, honestly, especially with other game coming out right now. The Witcher 3. Ugh.
Witcher 3. We're going to have sex on the back of a unicorn.
Alright, so let's go into the bin watching section here.
Yeah, I haven't been playing anything. I'm sorry.
No Dark Souls?
No, I'm taking a little bit of a break because I'm getting ready to start pretty much the final chapter of the main story.
Cool.
So I don't want to just jump into it. I kind of like want to make a bigger deal action-wise. Like I'm trying to... God, it sounds bad. I'm trying to script stuff out.
That's not bad at all.
I want to make it good. But I've actually been watching some stuff lately.
Oh yeah, what have you been watching?
A little Game of Thrones. I didn't watch this week's episode yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed with the season opener.
Mm-hmm.
It was all recap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not a whole lot, but episode 2 was good.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3 was good. Last week's episode was damn good.
And I can concur that this week's episode was really good.
Oh, I'll probably watch that either tomorrow or later today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know yet. But yeah, that's all I've been watching.
Right on. What about you, Izzy?
I got a few things on here. I saw that special that they did on ESPN about WWE called Behind the Curtain, and it was actually really good. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. They really focused on Adam Rose, Corey Graves, and Xavier Woods are pretty much the people they focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
cool.
it like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, they haven't really done anything with Adam Rose since they debuted him. But the way that they, showed him in the documentary, like, with him and his family and him having, like, a disabled child and all this, like, you grew to like the guy more, the guy behind the character.
Yeah.
And, like, how, I know he was Kruger, of course, before in NXT before they switched over to the Adam Rose gimmick, and you just, like, really get endeared to him as a regular person who's just trying to make it in the wrestling business and having a family, having to pay bills. And then they also, focus on Corey Graves and about him having to transition from being a wrestler into doing commentary and other things with WWE since he no longer can wrestle. And then they talk about Xavier Woods and about how he's trying to get his PhD and all this stuff and going up to the main roster. So it was really cool behind the scenes. Hopefully they put it up on the WWE network sometime in the future. I don't know if they could strike a deal with ESPN to do that, but it was very well done, very well shot, very well edited. So it's cool that the WWE is getting some exposure on ESPN, which traditionally doesn't have pro wrestling of any kind on it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, ESPN does.
Yeah, enjoyable, very enjoyable show. The next thing that I saw was Batman versus Robin. Not to be confused with Batman and Robin, the George Clooney movie. This is the animated film that was just released probably like a month or so ago.
Oh, shit, it's out already?
Yeah, that's about Batman and the new Robin, which is his son Damian. And I gotta say, I enjoyed it for what it was and the story they were trying to tell within the context of the movie. But they changed a lot of the Court of Owls storyline, and it just kind of frustrated me because the Court of Owls storyline is one of my favorites, and that I've read from what I've read of Batman, and for them to switch it around and try to do their own interpretation of it within this film just so they could fit Damian into the picture.
Yeah.
It was kind of frustrating, but it was enjoyable for what was there. And DC does very good animated movies when compared to their big screen movies. But it was enjoyable. And then the last and final thing, which is also comic book related, and I'm sure Lord X will be talking about it, is Avengers Age of Ultron. I went to see that on the day of release.
Yeah!
I didn't go for 3D, but I did go for D-Box, which is a chair that you sit in, and it moves in synchrony with, is that even a word? In synchrony?
Yeah.
I think I said it wrong.
It's
with the action sequences on screen. So just picture like Iron Man and Hulk fighting. And then, punching, and then your seat is moving in whichever direction they're punching. And then, like, if Iron Man's flying in the air, the seat will move back and forth. It was a really cool experience. This is the first time I ever did that. I'm just looking forward to the next movie, which I'll probably see if they have a D-Box option, which will be Jurassic World. which will be a lot of fun. But definitely recommend it. If you guys haven't tried out D-Box, check it out. In terms of the movie itself, I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to go into spoilers because I know you haven't seen it. But yeah, I personally liked it better than the first Avengers movie. I thought the first Avengers movie was good, but I didn't like it as much as everybody else seemed to like it. Like, I thought it was a good movie, but this one kind of, which I heard a lot of people are, opposite of me. They're saying the first one was better, but I believe this one is better in my opinion. I enjoyed, how they didn't have to do the whole, what do you call it, like the origin story of the team. It was just like everybody's back together. We got this new enemy, and let's get at it. Like, they didn't have to deal with all that backstory. And it was a fun movie, like Lord X said. There was comedy throughout, but it did have a darker tone to it. Different parts of the movie, I want to say, is as dark as something like, for example, like Empire Strikes Back, which would be, second Star Wars movie, and it kind of reminded me of that, but it wasn't as dark. But it's still left, the humor elements of the original film in it. So I really enjoyed it. I might see it again, actually, in theaters. That's pretty much it for me.
Cool. Well, for myself, there was Game of Thrones, of course, which James touched on there. The usual superhero stuff, S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, Flash, etc., etc. And of course I did see Avengers Age of Ultron, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times.
Jesus Christ.
I actually saw it 3 times within 48 hours.
What?
Opening night, April 31st, I saw it twice, back to back. Once at 7 p.m., got into the theater, met up with my friends, went back in and saw it at 10:30 p.m.
Oh my God. Did you pay for it, or did you just walk in?
One of my tickets were free, so.
Okay.
Too bad. Actually, 2 of my tickets have been free, so I had enough points on my card. But yeah, echoing Izzy here, absolutely a fun, enjoyable movie. As far as liking it more than the first one, I still think the first one has that special aspect of it, of seeing these guys on the screen together for the very first time, and nothing's ever going to top that, to be quite honest. Maybe Infinity War will, but this was the first time in the first movie just realizing, like, wow, this is happening. All of these characters do exist in this same world together. The second one, Age of Ultron, was more of that, and in my opinion, that was awesome. We got to see more action, and there was a lot of action in this movie. Every time you thought the movie was slowing down, like, boom, 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 action scene. So, yeah, absolutely enjoyable. So, really good humor throughout the movie. And I won't go into spoilers, but I will say that Hawkeye is amazing in this movie. He finally gets his due. It's as
Nice.
if Josh Whedon saw the comments online of people making fun of him and was like, I'll show you what. And probably made Hawkeye the best character in the entire movie for a selection of scenes that I won't spoil.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it that I've been watching. I'll probably talk about Age of Ultron on a future podcast again as well, after seeing it again. So yeah, let's talk about the bin reading section, where I think both myself and Izzy have something in common here this week.
Yeah, we both read the same issue of
Secret Wars!
Marvel Secret Wars, yeah, issue 1. And I think we had similar reactions, and I think we have different opinions on it.
I think so, yeah.
Well, as I've said before, I don't really follow Marvel comics and comics in general. I just follow Batman. Even that I don't follow that closely, but I just read Batman, really. So I heard about this new Secret Wars event that's going on in Marvel Comics, and hopped on to Comixology and bought the digital comic and checked it out after Lord X mentioned in one of his videos. And I have to say, I was really lost because there were so many characters. in this issue, my head was about to explode. Basically, for those of you who don't know, Secret Wars, the two Marvel universes are colliding. If I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
the traditional Marvel universe and then the Ultimate Universe, right?
That is correct.
They're colliding together.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is pretty much going to be non-existent moving forward.
It's the multiverse collapsing in on itself, basically.
And I was really confused because, like, the world is essentially ending, yet there's characters fighting each other, which I don't know. If the world is ending, why would you keep fighting each other? It was just kind of confusing for me, and I wasn't sure which characters were from which universe.
Yeah,
although they do give you a guide. They do give you a guide at the beginning that says, like, oh, these are this characters from these universes. But to be honest, there's so many characters, it's really hard to follow.
Yeah, there was, I think, in total 19 characters on that introduction page, something like that.
Yeah, I was lost.
Yeah, it was a bit hard to follow the action, but it's understandable why it was confusing, because this is the accumulation of 3 years of build-up within the Marvel comics, so yeah.
But I was really confused. I don't know, honestly, if I'm going to read it moving forward, because as a starting off point, I'm already just so lost, to be honest. But
I think
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there is one scene, though, I think we can both agree on that was awesome, and that included the Punisher.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because as I talked about...
he was very Punisher-like.
Yeah, as I talked about in my comic shop pickups video, you have this, like, cataclysmic event going on. Everybody's, like, worried and struggling to, like, survive, basically. And the one character in the entire book that has a sense of humor at the end of the world is the Punisher. Kingpin is hosting this party, basically, with all these villains to have, one final drink because the world's ending. Well, we're fucked. Let's just party and have some fun. Punisher shows up at the end of this party. And he's like, there's an old saying, you can't take it with you. So that begs the question, what am I going to do with all these bullets?
I can't hold all these bullets.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool scene. But yeah, overall, I was just pretty lost. But I can understand what Lord X is saying, that it was a culmination of 3 years of build-up. I don't know if the reason Marvel's doing this, maybe their issues or in terms of sales are not doing so well, because that's pretty much what happened with DC when they decided to do the New 52, which now they are reverting back, if I'm not mistaken, which just pisses me off even more. But every few years, to be honest, the comics industry tries to shake it up a bit to get new readers engaged for whatever reason, lack of sales, or they just want to try out some new characters or some new storylines. But it's a business move. I can understand that.
Yeah, I think their biggest reason behind it is because the past few years, they've made some really stupid decisions. One that comes to mind right away is the fucking Spider-Man storyline, One More Day.
Oh, God, yeah.
Where for no real reason the devil wants Peter Parker and Mary Jane to not get married.
Yeah. It's funny because...
Like the actual devil?
Well, Mephisto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially the devil of the Marvel.
Essentially the devil. And all because Aunt May was shot by someone who knew who Peter Parker was, and
Peter wanted his identity to be secret again, so he basically turned to the devil.
But here's the thing. She just a gunshot wound. She wasn't killed instantly. She was slowly dying. Spider-Man goes to Reed Richards. Oh, sorry, Peter. Nothing I can do. Goes to Tony Stark, oh, sorry, Peter, nothing I can do, goes to Doctor Strange. Sorry, Peter, nothing I can do.
Kind of sounds familiar to the whole Wolverine thing lately, where he went to everybody and nobody could, like, bring back his healing factor. It's like, sorry, Wolvie, Fox has, got the rights to you right now, so we can't reverse anything.
Well, see, that's another thing that's going to be reset. Wolverine's going to be back alive.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this article called Marvel's Rebooting, check the relaunching after Secret War tweets and exclusive with the creator. Apparently, everything's going to be set back to just before Spider-Man's One More Day.
Huh.
Which means him and MJ are still going to be married, and they're going to have a kid.
Oh, yeah, the tie-in issue. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Renew Your Vows or something it's called.
Yep. And honestly, I was never one of those people that were like, no, Spider-Man needs to be single so he can bang Black Cat. Spider-Man needs to be single so he can bang Dr. Octopus's daughter. Spider-Man needs to be single so he can bang female Venom. No, wait, never mind. I don't know why people always had a hard time writing for Spider-Man, being married.
Mm.
Seriously, how... It's stupid. It's stupid. It was a stupid idea. It was a stupid premise. I mean, what, the Master of Sorcery can't cure a bullet wound, but he can reattach limbs. He can bring the dead back to life.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. My suspicion too is that they're going to try and tie a lot more stuff into the MCU, reflect that back onto the comics.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
No, and I think like after all the crazy stuff Marvel has done, maybe it is time for like a refresher, and it would be nice to have a new like starting off point to get back into comics again, because that's been incredibly hard to do recently.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I'd have to say after the Secret Invasion, it's been really hard just to keep up with everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
Right after Secret Invasion, then you had the X-Men X Avengers.
Yep.
And that fucking blew up big time.
Mm-hmm. There was the Dark Void thing recently with the X-Men and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. I think there was an Infinity War thing that went on.
Another one.
Yeah. There was another one too, not that long ago. God damn it. Access! Jesus, I should know. I read most of that one.
Oh, God. Yeah, and what was it? The Fear one.
Oh, Fear itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like there's no real story arcs anymore. There's just events.
Yep. So, yeah, maybe it's nice to just get back to
back to basics.
Yeah, back to basics and have everything, build up to something big again, but slowly.
Yeah, instead of just jumping into it and not knowing how to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I've read this past week.
Reading? What is this reading? I really need to read more. I gotta go to the library. I gotta read a book.
I've got a pile of books right on my floor that I haven't read, which I need to. I have Ready Player One sitting there with a bookmark into it to start, and the whole Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy collection too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a great series. Mm-hmm. Is it the leather-bound one?
No, it's just a normal one. It was on sale when I got it. I think I picked it up for $25, where it's normally like 100 and something. Yeah, normally $120. I got it for $25, so.
I had that book when I was in junior high school. It was always one of my favorite books to read.
So, shameless self-promotion. I'm pretty sure all three of us have something to promote here.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you go first, James? Tell the people what you've done.
Like I mentioned before, I'm working on my Twisted Souls series, but something kind of big fell into my lap this past week, and that is I am now doing videos for another YouTube site. That's right. I have been, I guess, hired to start doing videos for bad creepypasta.
Nice.
And basically it's over at YouTube /MacLeod.com, which is the character from Shadow Man, for those who don't know. A really good video game back in the day. But yeah, what these guys do is they sit down and they read really horrible creepypastas. For people who don't know what a creepypasta is, think of it as a modern-day ghost story. Mm-hmm. Except for a majority of them seem like to revolve around video games. Like Sonic and Mario.
Oh my god. Sorry, I'm
like,
having flashbacks of that Sonic one you sent me one time.
I'm sorry, but you should give the one I just finished. It was part 3 in the series of, it was a creepypasta about Rayman.
I will watch it.
Yeah. I never want to hear the fucking word lubs again. Jesus Christ. No, because to do the video is like 6 hours worth of editing. Because it's all audio. I add pictures to it. It's basically just a glorified slideshow. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I put a little bit of myself into it, a little heart and soul. But, you know, I just listen to it, go back, listen to it, go back, find images, add them in the right spots. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, hopefully links will be below to the site. My first episode went up today. And as of now, the reader says 301 views.
Nice.
Which means it's probably significantly more than that.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man.
It's a huge break. And I can't be happier. Now I just need to start getting paid.
Pretty cool.
Eventually, I'm sure I will, but, you know. Get some of that YouTube bacon money.
All right, now we have our resident rapper to tell us about his stuff.
So yeah, as Lord X said, I did a video dressed as Parappa the Rapper.
Oh my God.
And it was essentially, for those of you who don't know, Sony's, it didn't end, but the submission deadline's already passed. It was 2 days ago. Sony was holding a contest for their Road to Greatness tour, which if you win, you get a giant Sony, truck/bus comes to your town, and PlayStation holds an event with all the upcoming releases, and it's, very cool. Think of it like a mini E3, nice. On a much smaller scale, and you also win a PS4, a Vita, and a bunch of games. So I wanted that to come to my town, so I submitted my video. I was dressed as Parappa. I wrote out this rap about PlayStation and about PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and my memories with those systems. And my little brother was in the background, just making a fool out of himself. So it was fun. I wanted to stand out in the contest. I just didn't want to be one of those people like, hi, my name's Izzy and I love PlayStation. I wanted to do something kind of crazy and, to get people's attention. So I did that. It was fun. I've gotten a pretty good response on YouTube because I also posted it on there. It's up on PlayStation's website under the section for Road to Greatness. There's also a bunch of other submissions, both from last year and from this year for the contest. It's kind of confusing because they don't have them labeled or organized. So I don't know which ones were submitted this year, and I don't know which ones were submitted last year. But hopefully it'd be cool if I win this contest, just have PlayStation come down with this truck and hopefully play some upcoming games, and then they film a mini documentary on you and you being a PlayStation fan, and they put it up on their YouTube channel. So it'd be pretty big if I won this, and they're going to be picking 4 people. So hopefully I'm one of those 4 people.
That sounds fucking awesome, man. I hope you win.
I know, man. It'd be really cool. There's another guy from Orlando, Florida, but his video was really short, and all he said was like, "Sony, come to Orlando. What's up?" Like, I was like, okay. Like, wow, that took you no time to do, but
Yeah, it was
at
like
least
12
mine, I
seconds.
wrote out. Yeah, at least I think Lord X saw that one because I sent him like the link to what I call like my competition. So, and he saw it, and yeah, hopefully I win. This would be very cool. I'll know within the next few days. They're actually going to be picking. I believe on the 15th they're going to be picking like the top 4, and then by the end of the month they're going to contact the winner. So it'd be cool
Yeah,
if
really,
I win that.
really hope you do win, dude.
I know, man. That'd be awesome.
Well, for my stuff, it's a little less awesome than that. uh, I did the first unboxing of Marvel's first Collector's Corpse box that they're putting it bi-monthly in the mail.
Yeah.
Uh, the Hulkbuster pop vinyl was freaking amazing.
Oh, that was pretty badass. I like that one.
And it's actual bobblehead too.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think Marvel has some kind of deal with Funko where all of their pop vinyls have to be bobblehead, so it doesn't matter what they are, they have to be a bobblehead. Other than that, I think I've mentioned in the past I've done the I Am Bread videos. I'm hoping to do another one of those soon. And speaking of stuff that I hope to get done soon, there's a channel update that's up on my page right now. But I'm going to follow that into our big news that we have that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. So for those of you that have stuck with us throughout this almost hour and a half, almost 2 hours, thank you for watching the show. For those of you that jumped ahead, thank you for watching this part anyway. So we do have some big news here about the future of the CanUK Podcast, and that's we're actually wrapping up the CanUK Podcast with this episode. This is the final one under the name CanUK. It's been an extremely long road. Myself and JesterCarr started this back on February 4th of 2013. I think it was a Skype conversation I had with him. It was like, yeah, I've been thinking about doing a podcast, and the crazy bastard was interested enough in the idea to do it with me, and we kicked it off, and I believe Big Boss joined us on about episode 3 or 4. Then James joined in, and eventually Izzy joined us as well, and we've gone through 76 episodes of doing this podcast. Sometimes every week, sometimes it was, every Monday, and then went bi-weekly, and maybe we got an episode in every month. But it's been a really fun and enjoyable road. I do thank anybody that has stuck with us the entire time, watching and listening. Yeah, it's been really fun, guys.
It's been a hell of a trip.
It's been really fun. I'm gonna miss the gimmick box. Sad.
Oh, the gimmick box.
Stone Cold Steve Austin's gimmick box.
Oh, fuck, that was a great moment. Well, we're on great moments here. You got any other favorite moments that's happened throughout the course of this show?
I'd have to say any one of my many meltdowns. I don't mean to be a self-mark, but I've had more rage moments on this show than anything else.
Yeah. The rage moments and the completely derailing the conversation.
I tried not to focus on that because I honestly feel bad.
Oh, but they've all been great, though.
Oh, man. I'd have to say our coverage of, what was it? It was last year or the year before when we were covering Comic-Con. No. It was the Sony reveal, the Xbox reveal, and the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, E3, was it?
Yeah, the E3 we did last year.
Yeah.
where we sat and watched each fucking release video and cringed several times.
Yeah, the E3 shows that we've done have been really special, I think, and really fun to do.
Yeah.
The personal standpoint, the PlayStation 4 reveal show that I did with Jester and Big Boss was really fun. I remember all three of us just being really excited talking about the reveal news. But yeah, everything's coming to an end, but in the words of Hydra, cut off one head, two more shall take its place. Because you are not getting rid of us, folks. The main thing about ending the CanUK podcast was a lot to do with the name, since Jester left the show back on episode 10. It really hasn't made sense anymore, because the name CanUK stood for Canadian UK Podcast, and it's mostly been a show with 2 Canadians and 2 Americans since then, so... Probably should have called it CanUK Podcast, but...
That's our new title, guys.
Love it. Or get the fuck out. Brother. America, brother.
Oh my god. Oh, we're going out the way we came in.
I'm just trying to picture Jimmy Hart, like, with his megaphone. Can America, guys? It's my new podcast.
Before he got the hair transplant, too.
Yeah. Can America sound more like Jim Cornette?
Cornet face.
Oh my god. But yes, as I was saying, we are doing not one, but 2 new podcasts. We're actually going to separate the gaming stuff and the movie stuff. Our new gaming-themed podcast will be called the Glitched Out Gaming Podcast. In this one, we will just be covering gaming stuff. We'll probably include maybe a few more gaming news-related stories and topics to talk about. And, of course, this will be the show where you get stuff like the games of the month, where we dread what's coming. And the stuff we've been playing and whatnot. And then we'll be doing a movie TV themed podcast, which will be known as the Static Screen Podcast, in which we will be talking about all the movie and TV related news. Don't be surprised if it's Marvel themed every week, as it tends to be. And we'll possibly be introducing maybe the movies of the month in this show.
Yeah. That's
How would that include... Whoa. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Would that include just theatrical releases, or are we going to count DVDs too?
We can do both, probably.
Oh God, this is going to be an awesome train wreck.
Yeah, you guys can look forward to those coming out in the very near future. Probably going to be working around how they're structured and whatnot. So, and I will say right now, Izzy is taking it upon himself to do 2 intros for both shows. So,
Yep.
right away, I thank him so very much for doing that.
Yep. Hopefully get that done throughout this week.
And yeah, you guys can look forward to seeing those in the very near future. Maybe, they'll be a bit more interesting to watch with us talking. If you want to listen to gaming-related stuff, you won't have to listen to us ramble about, Daredevil for 30 minutes like we did today. Alright, so, one final time, guys, I thank you so very much. And since he hasn't done it in a while, James, why don't you take us out for one final time?
Well, considering that I do this every time I'm on the show.
I gotta give Izzy a break. He's done it the past 3 times.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a bumpy ride. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of tears, and a lot of lulls. For the final time, I'm ECW James. Thank you, one and all, for sticking with us very fucking long. On behalf of Izzy and Lord X, all I can say is thank you. And stay tuned because we're not done yet.
Good night and goodbye.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to something brand new here on my YouTube channel. It is time for the CanUK Podcast. You all know me, I'm Lord X, and joining me today from across the pond is JesterCarr. Jester, say hello.
Hello, people.
That's it? Nothing else? Come on, indulge yourself.
I'm new to this. Leave me alone.